Hey, good evening, everybody. We are so sorry here. Our internet crashed here on us right before it was time to jump on, and we've been trying to get it fixed and working here ever since. So we are amazed that there are still people here to join us. Thank you guys so much. We've been scrambling here, but we're amazed that you guys are still here. So thank you so much for still being here despite the efforts we had here to get this thing started. But we are getting started here. By the way, my name is Ferre. I'm here with Stephen Swenson, and these are free webinars that we conduct every few months. For people that want to sign up.
Yeah, and today we're going to talk about tax lien online auctions. There is some online auctions taking place right now, and we want to explain a little bit about how tax lien online auctions work, and then spend some time actually going and looking at upcoming tax lien sales. So we'll go spend some time and look at some Colorado tax sales, maybe some New Jersey ones if we have time.
All right, yeah, so let's see here. All right, so first thing though, before we do that, in terms of order of business here, the main thing for us that we have coming up here very soon is our next event. We're doing a 3-day event in Las Vegas on November 5th, 6th, and 7th. So that's coming up in like 2.5 weeks. We still have a couple of openings, that are available if there are people that would still like to attend. I think what is it, $9.97 for 2 tickets, and we provide lunches too over the 3 days. So if you would like to attend that, you're interested in possibly getting one of those seats, what you should probably do is contact us here at the office.
Yeah, you can either give us a call or send us an email.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be talking about tax lien online auctions, and what we'd really like to be able to do today is spend some time looking at different online auctions that are happening, see if we can kind of explain what it is that we're looking at. Let's first though make sure that everybody is on the same page, because we get people from I guess all different levels of knowledge that will join these events. And so for some of you, maybe you've invested and you're just checking to see what we know. For others, maybe you're just getting started, and so we should address things like, for instance, when we're talking about liens, let's just first establish what a lien is real quick.
Yeah, so essentially what a lien is, it's a legal claim placed against a property for unpaid compensation. Now with a lien, these are generally going to be issued by the government. Other than mechanics lien, all other type of liens are going to be government issued.
Yeah, well, and even mechanics lien ultimately is issued by a government. It just has another party, that's asking for it, really. But yeah, they are government issued, and the main thing is they prevent you from being able to transfer ownership. That's the main thing about liens, is you can't sell a property, or even do anything with it. You can't change things about the title while that lien exists against the property. And that's the main thing about tax liens. They can lead to a loss of property eventually as well, but usually preventing the transfer of ownership is enough to get them either paid off at some point.
Yeah, so even if you wanted to refinance your home, you would have to pay off that tax lien certificate if there was a tax lien on your property.
Yeah, and the system is really simple. So every county has to have enforcement systems in place for property taxes. In other words, I think everybody knows that if you don't pay your property taxes, if you don't pay any kind of a bill, it's going to get bigger over time, because it's, the interest is growing on it, right? Or penalties, fees. For the county, they need to be able to operate. They need, their property taxes to come in. And so if property taxes are delinquent, what the tax lien does is it enables the county to collect the money immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really what's happening is the property is acting as collateral for the debt. And then, of course, the investor's paying that debt and receiving the tax certificate where that tax lien has foreclosure rights.
Yeah, so traditionally, tax liens represent a single year's worth of taxes. And when they're purchased, they're usually purchased for a set rate of return. So sometimes the rate of return is, what they use to bid properties down. So, bidding down the interest rate is one of the systems or ways that that they can be sold, but they also generally will always have a redemption period as well, which is basically the time period, that the lien holder would have to wait before they could use the lien to foreclose.
Yeah, now redemption periods can last from 1 year being the very shortest, but most of them are 2 to 3 years, can go up to 4 years in some cases.
Yeah. Now, when we're talking about interest rate returns that you earn on tax liens, this is also important because the rate of return you're going to earn, like let's say, for instance, in some states like Florida have a maximum rate of 18%. And that's also what you can earn, if you're foreclosing and stuff on, trying to foreclose on it, that's what you'd be earning on. 18% though is accruing at 1.5% per month. So it's important to realize, that if you're earning 12%, it's accruing on a month-to-month basis. And so how long it takes the individuals to pay off the delinquent taxes is ultimately what will determine, how much you earn back.
Yeah, so if you're making 18% and the property owner paid after 6 months, you would essentially make 9%.
Yeah. Yeah. Also important to note is the redemption periods start on the day of the sale. So they're always going to count down from there, and they're important to keep track of. But for the most part, though, the reason why tax liens have been popular, over the years is because they offer an incredible degree of security, and they're real easy. You don't have to really do anything with tax liens, for the most part. At least most of the time, you don't have to do anything except for sit back and get a check in the mail.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about tax lien certificates. Now, when it comes to tax liens, really 3 things are going to happen on the day of the sale. First of all, a tax lien will be issued against the property. Then that lien starts earning interest. And also, like Shade mentioned just earlier, the redemption period is going to begin as well.
Yeah. Now, after that, there's really only one of 2 possible scenarios. And they both are dependent on what the property owner does, whether they're going to pay off the debt or whether they don't pay off, what is owed, and the redemption period. Now, if they pay the county, within the redemption period, which is what usually happens, then it's simple. The county can, the county can remove the lien and send a check to the investor. If they don't pay it off, well, that's where we have to look at foreclosing on the property. But, this is the first scenario, and this is what happens 95+% of the time with tax liens, and that is, redemption. Most of the time, the result is getting a check in the mail.
Yeah, exactly. Like Shade said, we're essentially going to be getting checks in the mail most of the time. Very rarely are you actually going to foreclose on the property, but there is that opportunity. So usually you're just going to be getting a check. In fact, in most cases, you're not even going to be getting a check anymore. It very well could be through electronic transfer directly into your bank, especially with these online auctions.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if the redemption period expires, on that lien, so, if you wait out the time period there, be it 2 years, 3 years, whatever that time period is, then things change. Then the lien has the power to be able to foreclose on the property. So you can basically use the lien to initiate the foreclosure process, and that doesn't mean you're automatically going to get the property, because still, in the foreclosure process, they can decide to pay it off there. Maybe that's what they need in order to pay it off. But if they don't, the end result is going to be foreclosure on the property either way.
Yeah, in fact, here's a couple examples of tax lien certificates that ended up in foreclosure, where the investor was actually able to acquire the property. In fact, these really are home runs. This isn't something that's going to happen all the time. In fact, it's very rare. But when it does happen, you're getting a great return. I mean, that first property has a value of just around $300,000. It had a total amount of tax liens of $9,400. There was probably also a couple more grand worth of attorney costs, maybe $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth. But even at that, they're acquiring this property for literally 5 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, the numbers are insane on these properties that result in foreclosure. It's impossible to really predict which ones this is going to happen with, at least especially in cases like these where you've got such nice valuable properties.
Yeah, I mean, the second one there below, was valued at 650 and had about $30,000 in back taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, again, about 5%, is about, what it ended up being.
Yeah, and that was actually over a period of 3 years worth of delinquent taxes. So this didn't just roll up, this is a period of 3 years building up to come up to that total, and then the foreclosure cost on top.
Yeah, crazy. Now, we've started to see more and more online auctions. I think when the pandemic came up, I think it affected a lot of counties and their ability to perform their regular actions like holding their sales.
Yeah, in fact, there's a lot of opportunity. Many different counties, states, and even cities, in the case of New Jersey, have added their tax sales online. And so, here we'll get a chance in a little while to go through and start looking at New Jersey. Indiana has some tax lien sales. Colorado has some tax sales coming up over the next 30 to 60 days.
These are some examples of Florida tax liens. These were actually purchased over the counter, shortly after the sale.
Yeah. I mean, especially with these kind of tax liens, sometimes, at least I know a few of these tax liens actually ended up getting picked up in an area that had live auctions. And so also sometimes if somebody doesn't pay for their tax liens, they can be put back onto the book, and you can get a chance to pick up some pretty good ones like this. But you really, these tax liens go within the first day of being issued, a couple days of being issued on the over the counters.
Yeah, because we'll probably get a chance to look at what happens, when they sit on there much longer than that. Everything good gets purchased, and so I'm sure we'll get a chance to look at some bad tax liens, and you can see exactly why they're bad, and we'll see if we can find some good liens too.
Yeah, so let's talk about online strategies really quick. Many times the online auctions are going to require a deposit of 10% of what you plan to invest. So if you plan to invest $2,000, you would need to put down $200 deposit. But because of that, that gives you the ability to participate in multiple auctions. You may register for 3 or 4 auctions, and maybe you end up winning property in one auction versus the other auction. But it gives you the ability to, spread your capital through multiple different auctions, and then just spending your money on the auction that you're able to get good tax liens on.
Yeah, you're going to give yourself the chance at least to buy, and ultimately you get everything back that you don't spend, so there's no real risk there. The only thing you're really doing is giving yourself the opportunity to buy.
Yeah. Well, and when it comes to online auctions, it's really just a numbers game. In fact, a lot of times me and Shade will talk about where by focusing on the right type of properties, you can get a higher interest rate return. So if there's that perfect home with the picket fence that's in the awesome neighborhood, that's going to get a lot lower or a lot more competition against it than maybe a 5-acre building lot that's valued exactly the same.
Yeah, it's true. And in the world of tax liens, they're both equally, protected.
Why make 3% off that, that white picket fence home when we could make 16% or 17% off that piece of land?
Yeah. So we're going to go and look at some of these online auctions now, and it should be fun.
And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go to taxsalesupport.com, and we'll go to our online auctions section and start looking at some of the tax lien auctions that are coming up.
Okay, here we go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do. All right, so we're going to go into the online auction section here of the website, and from here we can go into liens, deeds, redemption deeds. We're going to go to online tax liens, and we're going to take a look here. Now, there are some different online auction providers that are out there that provide, services for, for counties. And, for instance, one of those is Real Auction. Real Auction, they're actually one of the older, they were doing it, a long time ago. It seems like they've been doing it for at least 15 years.
Yeah, definitely been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
Also in the case of Colorado, Zeus has also have been doing their auctions as well. And one thing, sometimes the company that hasn't been around as long, you can sometimes get better interest rates.
Yeah, it's true. In fact, you can probably get better, maybe a better overall rate through some of the Zeus auctions because maybe they're harder to, or maybe they're less known.
Yeah, in fact, we can see that is it always hesitant on is Arapahoe County, opening up on the 6th of this month. Let's go ahead and click on that one.
Okay.
Now, if we want to see when the auction ends or additional information, we'll go ahead and click on the bidding rules on the left-hand side, where all of Real Auction looks the same.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to navigate. And this will give us the important dates. So they have here, let's see, the site will be open for research and deposits beginning 10/6. Formal bidding begins on the 3rd of November and can be done until the 5th. So from the 3rd to the 5th is basically when the bidding is going to be taking place, and they have a 10% deposit.
Yeah, exactly. So if we want to start looking at some of the potential tax lien certificates for sale, then we're just going to go ahead and click on preview items for sale.
Yeah, so now we're looking, we can see they have a total here of 1,653 records. Now, the other thing we can see here, they've got a sequence number and then the tax year here and whether it's available or not available, and then the face amount. So basically we're looking at the amount of the lien. So we've got some very small liens. Here's one for just $36 right next to one that's for $17,500.
Yeah, in fact, let's go ahead and check out that one that's $16,000 up there at the very top. Where's the $17,000 one, the storage unit? We actually showed some of these properties in one of our deal of the weeks. Yeah, this is the storage unit, huh?
Well, let's see. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So we can automatically see this is some type of storage property. Also from here, there's going to be a link that we can click on to pull up the online map.
Yeah, which, let's see.
Now, most of these online maps, not all of them, but most of them will have some type of aerial image. So you may need to click on layers or maps or something like that where you're able to click on the aerial if it doesn't automatically pop up.
But yeah, this is the property right here though. In question, we can see that it is a storage unit complex here.
It looks like there's 6 units and an office at the end of that one.
Yeah, 6 big buildings, yeah. Yeah, and we can also see, the value they have estimated on the property is, the 2021 appraisal is 1.57.
Yeah.
So, it's valued at $1.5 million, and so $16,000 lien is, secured by very valuable property.
Yeah, definitely. Go check out another one.
Yeah, let's go here. And I forget here. It's not going to show us any history, will it? If there's other liens, it's not. Roll-up isn't so much a concern.
We can go ahead and look in the treasurer's tax, but I'm not 100% sure on this. For some reason, I can't 100, but I believe that in Colorado you can pay the additional taxes, the subsequent taxes. In fact, that was something that we were doing a question with, because I know, like in the case of Florida, they just issued the 2nd year lien.
Yeah.
You don't have the chance to go ahead and pay the subsequent taxes, or the second year or third year tax lien. Meaning, if you buy that first year, what's going to happen if they're delinquent the next year? You know, who's going to pay that?
Yeah. In fact, the only way you'd get to do that really is if you got the chance to apply for foreclosure.
Yeah, exactly. And so in the case of Florida, it's going to be whoever, you know, you're going to have that first position. If you're the first year lien, you'll have the first opportunity to foreclose. But if you don't foreclose after a year, then that second year tax lien could go ahead and foreclose on the property. So, you know, in the case of this, we'd have to look and see underneath the tax information. But I believe in Colorado, you can pay the second year tax. I know in places like New Jersey, you can.
Yeah.
You know, and there is many states where you are able to.
Oh, look, they do have the previous year, you know, listed there. And was it 36,000 amount paid? 30,000. They paid 38,000. Yeah. So that's about their tax bill every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, they paid off the lien the year before too. You know, because it started off as a $30,000 lien. Special assessment. You know, they added something there to it for 5,300.
Yeah, I think that was probably a city special assessment.
Yeah, and we can see that it ended up paying $1,800 in interest ultimately.
Yeah.
You know, on it, but yeah, the $30,000 amount is amount for a year. So this is probably just a partial lien.
Yeah.
You know, they paid for half of their taxes this year, and so really, you know, it's representing, you know, the property value. That's why the property value is so high.
Yeah.
It's because it really only represents 6 months worth of, you know, taxes, that amount anyway. So very secure lien, and I don't think we'd have to worry about roll up here.
You know, why roll up is important is because there's some tax liens out there where the roll up can gain so much interest and so much cost that it makes sense not even foreclose on the property, not even buy tax lien certificates. But in a case like Colorado, you know, most of the tax liens are going to be good. In fact, you know, I think let's look at that $36 lien. It's probably not on something good, but even if it's on a junk property, we can kind of show and explain why.
Let's see.
Well, first of all, we know it's not much from the value.
It valued it at $500.
And its size too. Look how small that is. You know, underneath acreage.
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
0060.
Yeah. That's ultimately the real problem with it, is that it's so tiny.
So just looking at this information, we don't even really need to look on the parcel map. But if we look at the parcel map, we're looking at, you know, a very tiny parcel, maybe a small strip of land, something like that.
Yeah, there it is right there, just a strip in between the two.
Yeah.
You know, you can see. So it's a junk property, therefore, you know, it's a junk lien, because you know, when you buy liens, the one thing you want to make sure of is that you know, the lien is placed against a property that it would be worth foreclosing on.
Yeah, in fact, if you look at the legal description, you can see it's, you know, 0.7 feet.
Oh yeah, it's not even a foot.
Yeah, it's not even a foot.
Yeah. You know, on the flip side of that, there are liens in all different amounts here, you know, that you could pick up. So
yeah, in fact, if you are targeting tax liens, in fact, it's something we teach our coaching, our membership about in bracketing tax liens. Say you're looking for tax liens in around the $1,000 price range, then probably the best thing to do is to separate the list by price.
Yeah, you can start to focus in on properties that are priced at a, you know, specific or certain amount. Although, you know, once you get above a certain amount, you know, obviously the $36 lien represented a junk property, but once you get up to these liens that are up above, you know, a set amount, you're going to have properties that have significant value, and therefore, you know, all of the liens are going to be pretty secure.
You know, let's look at that one that's $397. I want to see if it has use and value. And that's really what we're looking at. You know, we're just making sure the tax lien certificate has both use and
Yeah.
value.
This is only a partial lien.
Yeah. You know, and if it has both of those things, then we're going to be interested in purchasing the lien against it, because chances are we're just going to get paid off.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a $2.2 million.
Oh wow. Yeah,
setup.
they just made a mistake when they sent over the check.
Yeah, they just didn't pay, because I'm sure their annual property taxes on this are probably pretty high.
Yeah.
Probably in excess of 50,000.
Yeah, 2 million. You're probably right.
Let's see, 35,000. Is how much they pay annually. And so, for this tiny amount here of $397, it's basically just that whole property.
Yeah.
So it's what we call a partial lien, and that's where you run into a situation where the lien just doesn't really reflect, the lien amount doesn't reflect the property value.
Yeah, when somebody sent in a check for their property taxes, they ended up, miscalculating it by $300, or something like that. And so, chances are this lien is going to pay off pretty quickly. They're not going to be risking losing the property for $400.
Yeah. Let's see, get the aerials here to work.
Yeah, it's not showing up for some reason. It's got some weird.
Maybe they don't have aerials.
Oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
It's got some weird.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Anyhow,
It's almost like it's on terrain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow, that's all right. Either way, we know that it's a partial lien and that the property has a ton of value.
Yeah. If you did want to separate the list by price, you can go up to the top and click on face amount, and it will organize the list for you.
Yeah, so you look at it from the cheapest, working its way up, or from the most expensive.
Should we check out the most expensive lien currently available?
Yeah, 104,000. Let's see what that is.
Ski resort.
Well, it is probably commercial, manufacturing warehouse, valued at 4.4 million. Oh yeah, it's a big.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know how to zoom in on that.
Yeah, definitely an expensive property.
Yeah, and the 100,000 is probably, it's probably the property taxes for the year on it. Let's see, previous year, yeah, $96,000 a year, is basically what the assessed tax is on the property. So, this being 100,000, now it's probably the property taxes and some late fees.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, should we go look at another county?
Yeah, let's go look at another county here.
But really, even with the basic research that we just did, that's usually going to be enough for us to determine if it's a tax lien certificate that we're willing to bid on or not.
Yeah, at least especially with the Colorado sales, for sure. In fact, yeah, with most of roll up isn't a huge concern everywhere. But it is a big concern, in places like Arizona and Florida.
Yeah.
Just because they allow quite a few years of potential liens to survive.
Should we check out another county in Colorado?
Yeah. Let's see which one.
What's the date? It's the 21st. Let's see about Denver City and County.
Let's see. So this is a sale that happens.
Sometimes you can scroll down to the bottom. And they'll have it kind of there.
There we go. You can see bidding begins on the 2nd of November and it ends on the 5th, 4th of November.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what they have. 5,193 records here. We have a lot of liens. We only have one thing we can really click on though, to pull up information about the property.
Yeah, it's going to take us directly to the county record information.
Yeah, so this is a vacant lot. Vacant land is what this looks like. It's
I'm
listed
surprised
as.
they have less information. Let's click on the property map real quick.
Aerial. There we go. So we can see if that's accurate there for what it is right now. Kind of looks like it's cleared there, but it looks like it's a usable lot.
Oh yeah, it looks like that. See, they just put in, see the driveways?
Yeah.
And this is a brand new subdivision, at least when this was taken.
Well, yeah, when the photo was taken, yeah.
Let's click on the assessed value. Did it say, have we seen how much they're valuing it at? 60,000.
Yeah, 60,000. Assessed value of 17.5. Actual value 60,000. They're estimating.
Yeah. So
Yeah, look at that prior year.
Well,
it went from, I mean, look at that. That gained like 10,000 in 1 year.
Well, it might have to do with the fact that
Maybe it's improved
it's
now.
an improved building lot.
Yeah, it's improved vacant now.
Yeah, brand new streets put in.
Huh, interesting.
But these are the kind of taxing certificates that a lot of times we'll like to go after because there's still as much value, but we might be able to get a better interest rate on this than say one of the homes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that's a $1,200 lien and still highly secure.
And what about that $625 one? It's pretty low.
Let's see here. This is also vacant land. Let's see what it is. Also a lot. One of the building lots.
It's kind of smaller.
Yeah, it does look like one.
I wonder if it's
lots.
supposed to be like like a twin home or something like that, or smaller type home.
Valuing it at 34,000. So that's a tremendous value considering the lien amount. $625 is pretty secure there.
Let's go ahead and click by face amount and look at the highest real quick.
200 and actually that's weird how they've got it listed out of order there for some reason. Oh, it's because one of these is a 2019. So this is the newest. The 2043 is the
Somebody
newest.
didn't buy that, I bet, because you don't see that on these. So click on that. I'm interested to see what's going on there.
In the 2019 one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what it is.
1956 was built.
Industrial meeting hall. Sorry. Lot size 89,000. It's big. Let's look and see what it is. Oh, that's a big building. Rocky Mountain Service Inc. That's the address, I think, on it, isn't that?
I'm not sure. We'll have to click on the summary. It doesn't have much information.
No. Although, there it is. Yeah, there it is. It's 3153,551 Picos.
Yeah, on a property like this, we'll check. What's the value of it, though?
The value on it.
9 million?
Yeah, I think that's what they're valuing it at is 7 million for the land, 2.2 million for the improvements, so 9.2. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why that 2019 leans up.
Yeah, it does make you wonder. You know, it's a fairly large lien.
Boy, the property with that kind of value, you know, you think some investor would easily put that down and get the, you know, the high return. Maybe they're re-auctioning it or something. Is it a school?
Hold on. You know, it kind of looks like a school.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally a school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
must be private.
Yeah, it a little bit confusing, you know, but it looks like, I mean, that kind of looks like a school. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why. But yeah, I think I would be concerned about that anyway, just seeing how others, you know, there's actually a couple of liens here that didn't get purchased.
Yeah.
Another one there for 300,000 that didn't get purchased yet, and this property is, this property's value is 3.7 million. That's what they're saying. Industrial preschool.
Huh.
Stapleton Fellowship Church.
Whoa. That's a big building.
Yeah, let me see if I can get back in a little bit. And yeah, that's a big
It's a
church.
mega church.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a
his
mega
preaching
church.
hasn't gone very well.
Yeah, that is a big church. Well, you can tell property taxes, you've got, I mean, you know, the property taxes on this thing are, I mean, you know, they're quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't have exemptions.
Full payment, you know, $143,000, $150,000 a year. So,
That's interesting.
yeah.
You know, you really can see every kind of property. I mean, you know, over our years, I think I've seen every kind of property come up for a tax sale.
Yeah, it happens to
You
all of
know,
them.
we've seen Walmarts, we've seen, you know, golf courses, we've seen islands.
Here's an interesting one. This one's actually still good. You know, I mean, this one's for the, you know, most recent tax year, 2020. It's a $250,000 lien. It says it's against a commercial motel. Let's see, valued
4.4.
Yeah, 4.4. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah,
Looks newer. Grab the. I'm sure that's just a result of the pandemic.
In Denver, yeah.
You know, they're going to pay this off before it ends up getting foreclosed on.
Oh yeah, it looks like it was a Best Western or something. A Ramada.
Ramada.
Yeah, it's a Ramada in there, and probably not that old. Certainly, you know, it would probably be worth the value they're assigning there of the 4.4. So even, you know, that $250,000 lien would be highly secure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I definitely feel better about this $250,000 lien than the 2019 one that we were looking at, where it looked like maybe it's a school. We're not really sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the value's still good, but you know, if I At least this one I'd be a little more comfortable with. But these again are the biggest tax liens.
Yeah, let's look at something a little more, realistic for some of us.
Let's see. Yeah, they do still have some, smattering of 2019, liens that are still there. Let's see, 28,000. Let's see if we're still in the realm of big properties. Assessed values here.
We should be.
1.3 million on this property. Vacant land. Let's see what this looks like. It's got to be commercial.
It's on Federal Boulevard.
This is the kind of land though land is much more likely to result in foreclosure because it's not displacing somebody and it's more likely to be owned by a single individual. And the reason why that's a significant issue is because what it means is that when it's being foreclosed on, there's fewer parties that are going to be involved with the process and even know that it's happening. There's a lot of land that's owned like this.
Is it a parking lot? Yes.
Yeah, I can't tell. It looks like it's just a kind of a clear lot right now. I don't know if it's a parking lot or if it's cleared for use right now. That's for sure. Look at that. I mean, it probably used to have something on it, maybe, or maybe it's always been like this, and kind of used as a parking lot. Either way.
Place for a gas station or something.
Yeah, it would be a
Business.
great, yeah, it looks like it's a great location here, for commercial property.
Well, and if you did have, $30,000 that you wanted to put into a tax lien certificate, you're probably going to get a better interest rate on this one than you are, on the equivalent home.
Yeah, look at that. Another day that they were here, somebody was operating their taco truck there, out of it. It's a good commercial spot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe what we'll do here is let's see, were there other areas we want to look at? We want to show them any bad liens here. So far, all the liens we've been looking at are
really that $36 lien. I mean, go ahead and go down to the cheapest amount and, let's not look at maybe, like a $200 lien or something. You try even one of those.
$145. Let's see what it is.
Built 1925.
Yeah, this is some kind of valued at 200 and 300,000 almost.
It's partial lien.
Yeah.
And some of these smaller liens are partial liens.
Yeah, it's $165 lien.
If your property taxes are $1,600 and you pay $1,400, even though you paid $1,400, they're still going to take that $200 and issue a tax lien certificate on it. Is a way to force you to pay that $200. And so, a tax lien like this, even though it's only $150 or $145 backed on a property that's probably worth 300 grand, it still has that same foreclosure power, and the county's going to do it just the same way as if it was a $2,000 lien or whatever their amount that they owe in the yearly taxes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's interesting. And it means that I'll bet that the rest of these are probably very similar.
Yeah, it's probably a combination of all kinds in there. Junk properties, partial liens, maybe some lots and things like that do have some value.
Yeah, a lot of these liens are small. We're 20 pages into 104 pages, total, and we're still under $200. So there are a lot of smaller liens here. Let's go 29. And here we are, we're still at only $205. So there's a ton of smaller liens here.
Yeah, try another one.
And
that's another home.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping to show a bad lien in here.
$345,000 value.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can easily go look at some over the counter stuff, but we are, it'd be nice to show one of these where, even here's why it wouldn't work.
I think
1995.
all of these $200 liens are like excellent liens. That's pretty crazy. Just because that lien amount is not considered a very high lien amount. This $460,000 house.
Yeah. These are just people that for whatever reason didn't pay their full property tax amount. A lot of times it's a mistake, or they thought their property taxes were $1,200 last year, but now the property taxes have jumped up to $1,600 and they sent in the $1,400. That's how a lot of these tax liens like this end up getting issued, is their property taxes have gone up and the person assumed it was the same cost it was the year before.
And yeah, Denver County, they are a tax lien certificate sale. That is what we're looking at here. And they do bid by interest rate. They do bid down
the premium bid.
Oh yeah, that's right. They do premium bid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do premium bidding there, where you're going to bid up the price of the lien.
Yeah. So it's actually a little bit more tricky, and you've got to figure out, how high you want to go. So if we're looking at this tax lien right here, that's $466. There's going to be a person who bids for, 467 or 468, 469. So maybe it ends up selling for $10 over the minimum bid. That's where you'll essentially win the tax lien certificate, is how much are you willing to pay over that premium bid. So from there, you'll automatically make at this point, Colorado is 9% plus, ends up being 12%.25, right?
Yeah, it is 9% above the
Federal Reserve rate.
Yeah. Federal Reserve rate, which is about right around 3% right now, 3.25 or something.
Yeah.
And so anyhow, yeah, the dates on this sale, by the way, are, I think we looked at it earlier, but it was, so registration begins now. Basically, the bidding begins on November 2nd. Deposits have to be in by the 27th, and it finishes up on November 4th. So November 2nd to 4th is when the bidding takes place, but you've got to have you've got to be registered by the 27th with your deposit.
Yeah. Well, and with premium bidding, usually what we would try to do is decide how many months worth of interest we're willing to essentially sacrifice or pay. So if we were willing to pay 2 months of interest on that, maybe on $1,000, that would come out to, $15 over that amount. So we know for the first 2 months, we're not going to essentially earn anything, or we'll, drop our interest rate. Instead of making 12%, we're making 10% because we paid for 2 months worth of interest.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, and really all of these liens that we've looked at have all been great liens.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all great liens where the property value just dwarfs, this small lien amount. All of these properties, the lien amount in most of these represents less than 1% in a lot of cases of value.
Yeah.
So really nice liens, and yeah, again, this is a sale that you can still register for and participate in.
And not only that, but New Jersey has, auctions that are happening all the time.
Yeah.
Because in New Jersey, they don't sell them on a county level. They sell on a city level, on a township level, on county level. Really, any, the property taxes end up getting paid to whatever the local jurisdiction is.
Yeah, so it could be a township. It could be.
Yeah, so if we're looking at New Jersey, that first one even, that's Aberdeen City or Aberdeen Township, Monmouth County,
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a sale, goes, let's see.
This one might be over actually. It's over on the 15th.
I'm gonna show you, look at, maybe they don't have any. Let's see. Oh, they do still have some that are active.
Yeah, I'm not positive if they'll be available or not though. Maybe they are, but unless they're on junk stuff, let's see what it is.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is the charge type they have listed here. S stands for sewer, T stands for taxes, and they kind of treat all of these the same in New Jersey. So we can see that, yeah, if this was an old sale, most of these would have already sold. We can see this one is for $2,000. Let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit. There we go. For $2,000, and we've got two different links we can click on. Let's click on the first one, which is probably going to be a preview.
There's current number of bids, 18 bids on it. So, you know, maybe I don't think it's available.
Yeah, it's probably not available. Yeah, with the sale already happening. Either way, $2,000 lien, you know, face amount here, property valued at $424. And
Yeah, even the status is sold up there.
oh yeah.
You know, but we could look at one. I'm sure there's some that are coming up.
No, actually, let's see.
Yeah, there's October 29th. Open there. Well, there's some down there below. Opens 10/19 or 10/20.
Let's take a look. So this one is Bound Brook, the borough of Bound Brook, Somerset County, New Jersey, with an auction here that happens on the 19th of November. Yeah, that's the date of this sale. Preview the items here,
And look at how small this is. You know, this is a little teeny, you know.
Yeah, there's only
community,
60 records
60,
here.
60 tax liens. You know, sometimes these New Jersey will have thousands of tax liens available, and sometimes you'll see, you know, these fairly small auctions. In fact, let's look and what's the O stand for?
I don't know. Well, let's see. We look at the total charges. It should tell us. So this was a
Commercial.
lien for $1,400. Yeah, it's a commercial piece of property. Let's see. The total charges. Municipal other cost is, you know, what they have. There's probably some
Yeah.
fee related to the sale. You know, so you know, we can see how the breakdown of the fees is, you know, with this property. Yeah, it looks
It
like
could be a special assessment. It could be, you know, water.
yeah.
You know, it could be anything like that.
Yeah. And
Electricity even.
let's see, they don't show the history here on it.
That's because usually these are going to be first year liens.
Yeah, and we can see, you know, commercial wise. Oh, it's actually that little
building.
Yeah, a little commercial building there. I can't tell if that's an auto shop or maybe like a car lot.
I think you can click on the view, the larger map. You can go down and do a street view on it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's this Blue Sky Auto place right here. And again, not, you know, not a big lien, you know, we were looking at, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1,400 lien, you know, is highly secured there. And we didn't even pull up all of.
In fact, you can see that a lot of these liens, there's a few tax liens here, but a lot of them are this O.
Yeah, just this.
Or at least 50% or more, or this O, which is probably something like a, usually if it's a sewer, they'll put up an S, but sometimes if it's a water or, you know, a special assessment or something like that, they'll put
this probably is some kind, basically a special assessment, because it's for 3,500 here, and you know they're saying municipal other, and it's against another commercial property.
Yeah.
You know, so there's probably something that the municipality, you know, had to do or provide that they are, you know, charging to the individual there that costs them about $3,500. Yeah, and that's what a lot of these are. You know, is for
Look at another one, see if they're all commercial.
Yeah, apartments.
Yeah.
Let's see, total charges. Yeah, these municipal other costs.
It's interesting. Go one
Yeah.
more.
Let's
Because
see.
it's almost like they're targeting commercial properties with these O's. Oh, there's a residential.
Yeah, let's see. And yeah, $954 municipal other.
You know, the thing about it is it doesn't matter the amount of the lien. It has the exact same foreclosure cost as if the lien was, you know, way more.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's obviously on, I mean, land value 52, improved, building value 130. It's a house, that has good value there, highly secured with a lien of this size, which just about $1,100.
Man, in fact, I'll bet almost every one of these tax liens are good.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. This one for $686 is against a house, a residential property here, valued at $224. Yeah, it's 99,000 in land value, and yeah, just more of these. At least just the property taxes. It's $600. And there, yeah, we can see the house right there.
And really from here, you know, we might check the property on Google Street View or Maps, maybe look it up on Zillow. But other than that, you know, we're not going to do a whole lot more research. Now, if we looked up one of these properties on Google Maps and we saw that the roof was caved in or it was burnt down or something like that, then we may look into it a little bit more and kind of really see what that land value is. I mean, in the case of this one, the land value is $620,000. So, you know, there is a lot of land value. You may not still lose money, and your chances are you may get paid off. But
Yeah, this one's kind of interesting. $113,000 one against a commercial property though, valued at nearly $4 million.
well, there's the address right there. Let's look it up quick.
Oh, right there, it's a Dollar General. Oh,
E-Finder.
Yeah.
Store closeout.
E-Finger.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is E-Finger.
Yeah, it's a pretty big building though. Maybe it's a Goodwill.
No, it's definitely Dollar General. I think the Dollar General's next door, is that?
Yeah, I don't know. They just say, Goodwill store and donation center. And the Dollar General is on this right side. Oh no, maybe that is the thrift store.
Yeah, that's Goodwill.
They're calling that a Dollar General. I doubt it is, but either way, interesting property. You've got a lot of other liens, but like Steve was saying, there's so many sales that are happening between New Jersey, Colorado. They constantly have sales that are opening up.
You know, there's also auctions taking place on Zeus as well. Some additional Colorado tax lien sales. You know, a little bit different system, than real auction, but still gives you the ability to go through and bid and research on those tax lien certificates.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we have to cover. We've kept everybody long enough anyway. We really appreciate everybody. All you guys stayed with us long, even though we had to start it so late.
Yeah, and we apologize for that. In fact, we'll go ahead and get this the recording out to anyone that missed the first portion or wasn't able to make it.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, and please attend next time. This is the first time I think we've had an issue like this here, with it right before. So if you want to come again, we're usually on time, but we'll have this recording out and available, and we'll do another one here, in probably another month and a half.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. We
All right.
will see you soon.
Thanks again.